Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. So today's video is going to be very fun. I'm pretty sure I say that in all my intros. I guess I just think my videos are fun. But today's idea actually came from a few of you and you wanted to see a different variation of my top 3 in every category video with less products and a seasonal twist to it. So I'm going to be doing my top 2 fall favorites from every category. What if we did this type of video seasonally? Would you guys like that? Please let me know. I think picking products for this time around was way harder, not only because I was picking less. I feel like there's so many things that I like to pull out during the fall time, so I had to keep asking myself what I'm realistically going to be gravitating towards this season and not just using once for one look. So that's the gist of today's video. Before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. So I'm going to be starting off with my 2 primers. The first one I have to talk about today is the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. I haven't been this impressed in a primer in a very long time. This one comes with a lot of bold claims listed to it. It says on the back that it mattifies, it hydrates, it blurs pores, and it's impossibly silicone free, and it truly does it all. This stuff just allows my makeup to go on so smoothly. It also helps to keep my oily skin at bay. My makeup just wears a lot better with this stuff underneath of it. This stuff has truly given my Milk Hydro Grip a run for its money because it does everything that that one does for me and more. And my favorite thing about this one is when you first apply it, it's really cooling feeling. And once it's applied, it kind of sets down so your face doesn't remain feeling slippy or heavy or anything. It just feels like you have not applied anything to your skin. It's really interesting, and I've been reaching for it so often because I just love it so much. So this one had to be in this video for sure. And the second one I have is actually not really a primer, it's a radiance booster. This is the iconic London one, and my favorite thing about this stuff is how sheer and natural it is. The pearlescence in here is so finely milled, you can barely see it. You can't even spot like a particle of it when you swatch it on the back of your hand, and I love that. And I also like how sheer the base pigment is, so it's very flexible. And you can also build this one up without getting like an obvious mark of demarcation, because with some of these products, sometimes when the light's not hitting it, you can see the base color of it, and I'm really not a fan of that. This one builds really nicely, and when you just apply a sheer amount, it still does a lot. This one here has been my most reach for radiance booster. I think it just looks the most natural, but it's not so natural that it doesn't do anything for you. I just think this one is incredibly beautiful, and I love how the finish isn't too balmy, nor does it set all the way down. It still gives a nice glowy effect without feeling too heavy. So love this stuff. Now let's move on to my 2 foundations. So the first one I selected was the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body. This is the stuff that I've been reaching for probably 80% of the time when I'm not filming. It's just amazing. I love how many ways I can use this stuff. When I apply it with a brush, it just gives kind of like a Glossier skin tint vibe, just adds some glow kind of subtly, corrects my redness and imperfections. And when I apply it with my fingertips, it's really interesting because it kind of thickens up, and when it thickens up, the more coverage it adds. So it's been great if I want to kind of correct other areas as well. And I just think things layer beautifully on top of this. I just like how this just looks like naked skin. I've just been loving this stuff. It's quick and reliable, and I love that. And my second foundation that I selected was the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. And I picked this one because I can get more of a medium to full coverage with this one, but it still looks really natural. I've been loving this stuff. I already feel my skin drying up as the season is changing. I live in Alberta. It's very dry over here, and this stuff is so nice because it just feels like a serum on the skin. It feels very hydrating, and it looks amazing. It packs a lot of coverage, which is really cool, but it just adds something that I haven't found in other foundations yet. Plus I have multiple shades in this one, so as my skin changes, I'll still have this around. It's just been incredible. Highly recommend this stuff, and the shade range is amazing as well. Now let's get into my concealers. So the first one I picked up was the Oma Beauty Stay Woke concealer, and I picked this one just solely because it's so reliable. It's never failed me. It looks incredible under my eyes. I can get a sheer finish to a full coverage finish, so it's just very versatile. The second concealer I know I'm going to be using a lot this season is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This stuff is not only amazing under my eyes, but it's also been incredible at spot concealing. Okay, Ren is after my booba. I truly missed out the last couple of years that this has been out. I was just way too in love with the creamy concealer that I just didn't think this was going to compare, but it honestly is way better for me and my under eyes and my skin type. I just love how this one goes on top of my blemishes. It cuts out any pigmentation, and its soft matte finish just allows for the light to not reflect off of my spots. Excuse me, sir. Because sometimes when you spot conceal with certain concealers that have a little bit of glow, it sometimes just brings more attention to those spots, and this one just doesn't do that at all, and I've been just loving my experience with this stuff. Now let's talk setting powder. So the first one I wanted in this video is the Kosas Cloud Set. I use the shade Feathery, and this is the one that I've been reaching for the most for my face, not under my eyes. I don't super love this under my eyes. I just like this one because it adds a sheer layer of tint and it blurs beautifully. It diffuses my pores out, it corrects my makeup nicely, and I like to carry this one in my bag just for touch-ups. It kind of blots my face perfectly as well without making it look cakey throughout the day. I just adore this stuff so much. It's truly worth the hype. And the second powder, of course, is this one from Annabelle. This is the Perfect Matte Powder. I've been so excited about this discovery. It's just an exact dupe of the Pat McGrath under eye powder, and I love how this one is a bigger compact, so I don't feel bad putting it all over my skin, and it's also way more affordable. It's exactly like the Pat McGrath setting powder, so it had to be in this video. I won't shut up about this product for the near future or long term, but you'll be seeing this stuff a lot. Now we're getting into the sections that were a bit more tricky to pick for. So moving on to bronzers, the first one I just needed to include are the So Soft Sticks from Cosmetics. These are the contour ones. I don't say this often, but I've just been completely obsessed with these. I try to reach for other things in my everyday life, but I just always end up adding this on top. I just love the tones. I use Terra and Summer. Sometimes I mix them or I use them on their own. I just adore this formula. It lasts so well. Once it's completely blended out, it just looks like a powder bronzer or contour, and they wear just like a powder as well, which is really cool. So it just helps with longevity. I just love how these ones blend out. I don't have to think about it or worry about it. It just does what it's supposed to do, and I love them for that. And the second bronzer contour duo, I guess this section I kind of cheated, but this is the Patrick Ta for Face Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. This has been a favorite of mine for months now. I just love the colors, and they're also sheer formulas, so you can build them up so you can get more of an impactful look, which was very handy during the summer. But with my paler complexion right now, this still suits my skin tone perfectly. I just love the way that these things perform. I mostly use the cream on its own, but the powder is gorgeous as well, and I wanted to include a powder bronzer in here somewhere just for longevity purposes if I know I'm going to be out for a very long time. I feel like I never shut up about this bronzer duo on my channel ever. You guys know my spiel already. This just had to be in here. So now let's talk highlighters. The first one I selected was the Melt Cosmetics Sex Foil, and the shade I use the most often is Stargazer. I think it just complements my skin tone better. I was very surprised when I used this the first time because Melt Cosmetics usually comes out with products that are meant to be seen. You know, they're very pigmented, they have very bold and interesting color stories. You know, they're just a lot more out there, more full glam. That's their aesthetic, so surprised to see how natural this was once it was on the skin. But now that I've been using this for over a month now, I can confidently say that this is the best liquid highlight formula that I've come across. It just melts into your makeup with ease. You don't have to fuss with it at all. It doesn't dry halfway through the application. It just looks incredible and so natural, which is insane. and I love how most of them don't have glitter in the formula. The only one that had glitter was the deepest shade. It has chocolate in the name. That's the only one that had glitter. Otherwise, it's this very fine pearlescence that is so stunning, and the base color is quite sheer as well. It wears nicely through the day. It doesn't slip slide all over your face. It doesn't break up my makeup. It just stays put and stays looking lovely all day. Adore it. And the second one comes to no surprise for everyone who's been watching my channel for no matter amount of time. It's the JULIAA Powder Highlight. I use the shade Decades. This is just my favorite powder highlight, just because it doesn't look like a powder highlight once it's on your face. It just melts into your foundation or whatever base you have going on that day, and it looks very creamy. The pearlescence is just very fine. It polishes beautifully. The formula doesn't catch on to your texture as much as other powder highlights do. I just find it to be very flattering and just reliable. Sometimes if I try out a new highlight and it's going a little sideways, if I add a little bit of this one on top, it just fixes the whole situation. It's just an incredible one, and I don't know if I'll ever shut up about it. So now we're reaching the section that was the hardest for me to choose. Blushes. Okay, this one I knew had to be in this video. It's the CoverFX Monochromatic Blush Duo in the shade Warm Honey. I don't really use this one during the summer as much as I do in the fall time. It just embodies fall for me. I don't know what it is about this one. It's just too beautiful. It's what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. It has this beautiful warmth and almost this rustiness to it that just flatters this season so perfectly. I think the formula is really nice. It's very pigmented, so you just need the tiniest amount, and I love its versatility as well. I mostly go in with just the matte side, but today I added a little bit of the glowy side just to add some extra glow, and I like how I can mix and match them, or I can use either side alone. This formula has been a favorite of mine for years now. It's just something I look forward to bringing out in the summer and fall so much. Mostly fall. It took me a long time to finally pick a second blush for this video, but I ended up with the Quo Beauty Brown Sugar Blush. I needed something to pair nicely with the bolder lip colors I'm going to be wearing, as well as the deeper, bolder eye looks. And this is a really interesting one because it kind of shape shifts in a way. It just pulls whatever I need it to pull. So this one can look more warm or more cool or neutral depending on what other colors I have going on my face. So it's just perfect. And I think this one is really special because it has kind of a bronzy hint to it. So I think that's why I reach for this one so much, because it gives a more subtle, sun-kissed effect. Another reason why I wanted this one to be in this video is because it is a slow builder, so I can achieve a very soft, flushed look or a more bold look if I'm wanting to. I needed a blush that would just look good with anything I have going on, and this is the perfect blush for that. So now moving on to brow products. This was actually perfect because I kind of condensed my brow routine the last couple of months and I only used 2 products, so this was super easy. The pencil I have been using for a while now is the Kosas Brow Pop. I really like this one. It's just quick and easy, and I like this one's formula because it does give more of a matte appearance. And since I need to fill in quite a few sparse areas on the skin underneath my brows, it just looks a lot better. Since I do have an oilier skin type, my brows don't get shiny throughout the day, so it's just been perfect. I love how quick and easy this one is, and the shape of the pencil itself is really nice because I can add hair-like strokes if I'm wanting to, or I can fill it in very quickly. It all depends on which way I hold it. It's just very versatile and I just adore it. Plus the packaging is really cute. And the brow gel that I've been solely using for the last little bit is the Glossier Boy Brow. It's just so quick and easy. It's very similar to the M Cosmetics brow cream. This one just gives more of a bolder, full effect. It gives a lot more volume. It kind of coats your brows in a more waxy way, I guess. And I've been really enjoying that with my darker hair. But I think the main reason why I've been using this stuff so much is that it's just so fast. And whatever's going to make my brow routine go quicker, I'm gonna use it. And this is just the best. I love it. So now moving on to eye products. I have 2 one and done shadows to talk about. The first one here is the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Nudes in the shade Nude 8. This is my favorite shade out of the nudes collection that I own. It's just a perfect warm brown. It's pretty much the exact same shade as my shirt here. It's just easy to work with. I find that the deeper shades of the color fixes can be a bit trickier to work with, but this one's very easy to work with since it kind of falls into the mid-tones. This one reminds me of fall as well because it has a bit of a mustard undertone to it. I find this color to be very similar to the Tom Ford Abyssinian, just a different formula, of course, and I find that this formula wears a lot better on my oily eyelids. It just stays put. It's extremely easy to use. Super quick application, and it's just unbeatable. It's such a gorgeous color, so I had to include this. And the second product is very similar in tone. It just has a shimmery finish, and this is the Auric Smoke Reflect in the shade Defiance. And this is a little bit of a cheater, I guess, because it's a 2-in-1. So on the bottom here you get this whipped cream eyeshadow, and it's this beautiful color, and it has such a nice reflect to it. It's very moussey and whipped feeling, and it just blends effortlessly. And on top here, you get a pressed glittery eyeshadow that is just so stunning. And I also like to layer this on top of the color fix as well if I'm wanting a matte base with a little bit of shimmer instead of an all shimmery eye. So that's why I picked these two, because I can use them in conjunction or on their own. But now let's get into my eyeshadow palettes, and these two just embody fall. The first one is, of course, the Rust palette from Melt Cosmetics. Like, I don't think there is a more fall eyeshadow palette out there. I just love how deep and dark this one goes. The colors are just the colors of the leaves outside. The shades are so rich and they perform amazingly. This is what I have all over my eyes today. I love Melt Cosmetics' matte eyeshadow formula because it's so pigmented, but they blend out so beautifully and they last a really long time as well during the day. I don't really reach for the shimmers in here. The mattes are for sure the stars of the show in this palette for me. I just can't get enough of this color story. I think it's very flattering against my skin tone and my eye color and just everything. This is just what my fall dreams are made of. And the next palette was at war with the Patrick Ta one, but I ended up picking this one because there's just more versatility within this one because there's a few color stories. This is the side-by-side palette from Nabla. So this is what it looks like. It just has a couple color stories. There are a few shades that are similar to the Rust palette, but these are just the colors I wear in fall. Plus this one's fun because you get the addition of these cool tones. You have these more red-based browns and these pure neutrals. And I love the addition of the topper shades in here. They just have this sheer glittery veil that just suits all of the shades in here. It just adds extra dimension, and the way that those shades catch the light is just completely gorgeous. I had to add this one in here. I like how many looks I can get out of this palette. I did decide to include some eyeliners in here. I've actually just been using brown eyeliners. I have not been jiving with black eyeliners on me recently. Every time I apply them, they're just way too intense for my vibe lately. So I have two different browns here to talk about. The first one is, of course, the Makeup by Mario. This is the shade Soft Brown. Like, this is getting to the nubby point soon. It's just a soft, beautiful brown. This is one of the shades I use on the daily. It's just very flattering, and I love this one's formula because I can spread it out all over my lid with ease. It kind of feels powdery in a sense. I'm pretty sure you've seen me use this pencil in like 100 of my videos. This is hands down my most favorite eyeliner pencil in my entire collection. I just will probably be repurchasing this till the end of time. And the second one is a bit of a deeper brown. This is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is a really cool formula. This is the classic eye powder pencil, and it's truly a powder in pencil form with a bit of creaminess. This is great for smoking out looks, and I thought that this shade was perfect to pair with these eyeshadow palettes as well. I have been reaching for this one a lot when I want to do a more smoky lash line effect. It also wears really nicely in the waterline. I can create very sharp eyeliners with this as well. It's just been a great all-in-one brown eyeliner pencil. And I like how this brown is kind of a blackened brown, but it's still very soft compared to a black. So I thought that was perfect for this video. And now let's talk about the mascaras. So the first one is the Rare Beauty mascara, and I have completely fallen in love with this one. I wasn't sure at first, but it's really grown on me. It adds so much volume, it's very fast to apply, and that's my favorite thing and one of the things I look for in a mascara. It also doesn't crumble or smudge, it just wears beautifully, it volumizes amazingly, it's just very reliable and beautiful, and I love the packaging. It's just very sleek, it feels heavy through and through, it's beautiful. And the second one I have is the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions. And this is a tubing mascara, so it's amazing on my lower lashes, but I also like it for my top lashes. And what makes this one stand out to me is that it's very volumizing. And usually tubing mascaras are more natural leaning. They kind of lengthen instead of volumize. And since I am going to be doing more bold eye looks this season, I wanted a mascara to suit those bold looks. And I didn't want my bottom lashes to get lost. Usually with my bolder looks, I like to have kind of a chunkier bottom lash effect, and this just gives me that very quickly. This is another mascara that's never transferred onto my concealer. It's never given me raccoon eyes. No crumbling has ever happened. It's just a phenomenal mascara. So now let's talk about lip products, and this was by far the hardest section to pick products for. So I kind of cheated and I picked formulas over specific shades. So for my lip liners, I picked the entire range of the M Cosmetics Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liners. I just have everything I need in this little section here. I have nude shades and more bold shades to suit the lipsticks I'm going to be talking about in a minute here. Plus, I love the finish of these. They give like a soft blur effect. Whenever I think of lip liners, these are the first ones to pop in my mind. But the second one I wanted to include was the Anywhere Caffeine Pencil from Makeup Forever. This is a beautiful color, and it's a perfect match to the lipstick I'm going to be talking about shortly here. And I know you guys already know which one it is, but it's just a beautiful color. I like how this one feels more powdery, and I can get more of a defined look while still having kind of a soft effect. I'm definitely going to have to invest in more shades of this pencil because the formula is unbeatable. It just glides on beautifully, and it lasts a really, really long time. That is it for the lip liners. Now let's move on to lipsticks. And this was where I struggled for a very long time. But these are the two formulas I see myself using the most. One of them is a newer one to me and I feel very excited about, and one's just a classic. But I am going to film a favorite fall lipstick video very shortly. I have them all pulled right here. Don't pause and look at them, please. Keep it as a surprise. But anyways, the first lipsticks I chose were the MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks. I have 3 shades here. I have Marrakesh Mirror, Teddy 2.0, and Devoted to Chili. And it was a tie between this formula and the liquefied version, but I decided to go with the bullets because they felt a bit more nostalgic. My first ever high-end lipstick was from MAC, so it just felt fitting, you know? And I love these colors so much because I can achieve a very natural effect if I just pat on a bit of the color, or I can just apply it full on. These 3 shades are just so beautiful. When I think of fall lipstick, I always think of more matte finishes, and these give exactly that, but they're very comfortable to wear. They never dry out your lips, and they just simply wear beautifully as well. They have that soft matte blur effect that doesn't enhance any of your lip lines. They're very flattering for matter lipsticks, and they just simply feel like fall lipsticks, you know? It's just that kind of a vibe. And the second formula here is the Giorgio Armani Intense Velvet Colors. I have 3 shades here, 209, 208, and 405. Not only do these colors scream fall to me, but this formula is really easy to wear. They're super impactful, but they have that kind of silicone-y, slippy feel to them that I just adore in lip products. I have similar points to talk about as I did with the MAC ones. They're very comfortable to wear. They don't enhance your lip lines. They're easy to wear, and they wear a long time as well. But the number one reason why they fit into this video so perfectly is that the colors just embody fall. And the last 2 products for today's video are my glosses. So the first one is a little bit of a cop-out, but this is the Kosas Wet Gloss in the shade Jellyfish. you just need a clear gloss at all times of your life. I mean, this is perfect to add on top of any of the other lip colors I was just talking about, or just to pair with one of the lip liners. It can just be a look. I needed a clear gloss just in case if I'm wearing a super bold eye look or anything of the sorts. It just needed to be in here. You guys knew I had to sneak this gloss in here, you know? And the last one is the Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Cream in the shade Pumpkin Spice Latte. Need I say more? This is very similar to the Tower 28 Cashew Lip Gloss. This one just leans a bit more pink. This is the gloss that I was wearing throughout this video, and it just needed to be in here because of its name. I think that's what really made the decision for me, is simply the name. And it's also beautiful. I like how minty it is. It's very cooling as well. I don't find it to be super plumping. I just like the way it feels on my lips. It feels more like a classic gloss. It's a bit more sticky. It doesn't feel like a lip oil or anything. It's a very beautiful, comfortable gloss that stays put and doesn't bleed. But there we have it. Those are all the products I see myself wearing the most this fall. Let me know if you'd like to see this video seasonally. This was super fun to put together. But with that being said, that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. It would help me out so very much over here. I'll make sure to link all of the products I talked about in today's video in the description down below as always, and I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.